Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to collect one of my favourite cars of all time, the Jaguar XJ. Specifically, this is the X351 XJ, which ran from 2010 all the way until 2018, 2019, when sadly they axed it. I really love these cars. I've had loads of them over the years, and every single time I get in one, I just think, this is what I should buy. I like them that much. I've done several videos with them as well, and they always get really good views. In fact, I think the first video I did with an XJ is sitting at about 1 million views, so I'm obviously not on my own in my liking of them. It's been a while since I've had an XJ, so a couple of weeks ago I had a bit of a brainwave. I thought I should try and buy a nice one and then feature it on the channel, and that's exactly what I did. I started looking for one in all the usual places, Auto Trader, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and I couldn't believe how cheap these were. But I wanted a nice one. I didn't want a complete project. I wanted a nice cared, for example, with good service history. I also wanted a top spec portfolio. Now, in case you don't know, they do the luxury spec, which is the base model, then they do the premium luxury, then they do the portfolio, which is the most luxurious, and that's the one I wanted. They also do an R design or an R sport or something, but I didn't want one of those. I wanted the portfolio. I just think if you can have an XJ, which is basically a Mercedes S-Class or Audi A8 rival, then you may as well have the best one available. I looked at loads, but one really jumped out at me straight away. It was a 2013 3-litre diesel portfolio with about 122,000 miles on the clock. It was being advertised on eBay as an auction, and the starting bid was £5,250. So I watched it for a few days just to keep my eye on it. And as the end of the auction drew closer, I noticed that nobody had bid on it. So I thought, right, what I'll do then is I'll wait for the auction to almost end, then I'll put in a bid of maybe £5,500 and see what happens. Anyway, I've been away in Australia and I completely forgot about it. And with the time difference, by the time I checked, the auction had actually ended. So I was a bit gutted because I thought I'd lost it. Anyway, a few hours later, I messaged the seller just to see what had happened, whether anyone had bid on it or, whether it was still available. And he said, yeah, it's still available. So I said, right, how much will you take for it? And he said, to be honest with you, I've had it for many years now. I think he said he bought it as a retirement present to himself. He'd had the cam belt done, it had loads of money spent on it, he'd serviced it regularly, and it looked really tidy. The wheels needed refurbing, but I can get that done at Prestige Wheels, so that's no big deal. But yeah, it looked like a really good example. And he said, unless I get £5,000 for it, I'm just going to keep it. So I said, right, well, you've got a deal then. I'll give you £5,000 for it. And that was that. I asked my father and brother to go and collect it for me because I was out of the country, and it was in a nice little village on the outskirts of Stratford-upon-Avon. So they went to collect it, and that was that. They've left it for me on my car park, so we're going to go and have a look at it now and see what it needs. I'm genuinely excited to see it though. Like I say, I love the XJ. My dad drove it back and he said it was fine, apart from the front brake discs. He said every time you press the brake pedal, there was a load of vibration under the pedal. So I'm thinking I'll have to spend a few £100 replacing the front brake discs and pads. I need to refurbish the wheels and see what else it needs. Before I agreed to buy it, I did a quick car vertical check and it all checked out fine. So as you can see, it never been stolen, never been written off, there was no outstanding finance on it, and it never been involved in an accident. So I got the green light on every single point. But if you scroll down to the MOT history, there are a few advisory items. As you can see as well, my dad was right. The front brake discs and pads were an advisory item, so I'm going to have to get those replaced. By the way, if you want to do one of these checks for yourself, I urge you to do so before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. Then all you need to do is go to carvertical.com, type in the reg or the VIN, and then check vehicle. And this works in 35 different countries, by the way. It isn't just a UK thing. It doesn't take long and it isn't expensive, and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK, all one word, HIGHPEAK, for 20% off each and every check you do. Right, I'm going to go to the garage now then and pick up the keys and the paperwork, and I shall see you at the car park. See you in a bit. Well, we're here. Oh, such a good looking car, that. I love those XJs. It's a nice colour. I guess it's almost black, but I think it's a very dark grey. The wheels look nice. I don't know whether they were all like that with the LED lights or whether that's a facelift. Did they facelift it like the XF in 2012? Should know these things, shouldn't I? That looks nice though. Now from the pictures, I think the paintwork was in really good condition, so I don't need to do any paint. There might be a few stone chips and stuff on the bonnet with 120,000 miles on the clock, but it looks pretty good. I think I'll replace the reg plates and put my own HIGHPEAK Autos branded plates on. And I picked up the service history, and it's exactly what you want to see. So the book packs, dropped everything in. The book pack's here with the logbook and the service book, and it's absolutely brimming with history. So it was serviced at 13 by Jag, then 22 by Jag in Bristol. Eric, my lover. Then we've got a service again at Jaguar in Parks, wherever that is, at 32. Oh, Parks is Ayrshire, apparently. Ayr? Is that right? Another one there. another one in Bingley. Then it was sold by Romans. This is when the last guy bought it. So Romans are based in St Albans, and if you have a look on their website, they've always got really nice cars in stock, Romans. So they did a service at 98,000 miles, that was in 2021. So he's only done 20,000 miles in 4 years. They gave it a full service, that's been done. Then it was serviced again at 106, then again at 115, that was in July 24. That was the last one then, July 24 at 115. I think it's done 122 right now, so I'll give it a fresh service, then we're all good. Best not lose that, or the logbook. Pop that down there. And then, as well, we've got the original Romans of St Albans sleeve there. I believe it had the cam belt done as well. Here we go, right. Timing belt kit, plus idler pulleys and crankshaft sprockets and all that stuff. That was £808. That was done in 120,000 miles. So the cam belt's just been done. That's the result. We've got all the old MOTs. We've got loads of other history as well here. So it's had rear brake discs recently. It's also had the rear subframe undersealed to prevent corrosion. That was done in May this year. Okay, that's good. In fact, that was done at its last MOT. So on its last MOT, as we saw on the car vertical check, there are a few advisory items for brake disc 1 on the front and also subframe corroded. So at the same time, they replaced the rear brake disc and pads, but not the front for some reason. Perhaps it had failed its MOT. And they've undersealed the rear subframe, so that's good. So I'm hoping front disc and pads should do it. It's had an aircon compressor. That was £882. It's had a full service here. Oh, that's the one in the book then, in July 24. So it had a full service, and it also needed a windscreen washer pump. That's good then. Oh, look at this bill, right. So Romans had an engine rebuild done. Don't know what had gone on there then, but it's had an engine rebuild, 2 turbos, crank pistons, diesel injectors, sleeve repair, crank sensor, plus DPF clear. That was £5,200. That was more than I've paid for the entire car. And that was done when they sold it in 21. Wow, okay. Well, this should be all right then now, shouldn't it? Someone spent a fortune on this car. We've had a brake fluid change there. I didn't expect to see all this history. This is very good then. Someone spent a fortune on this, haven't they? Cars, you know, are just a complete money pit, aren't they? They really are. Right, let's go and look around it then, shall we? So in addition to the full history, also got both sets of keys, so that's good. Now from the eBay advert, the tyres looked good. I think they were Marshalls. Yeah, there we go, Marshall. That's on about 4mm of tread, so that's decent. But the wheel does need a refurb. We've got curb rash all the way around the outside. Brake discs look good though, so that's fine. Now, I think these are all aluminium, so there shouldn't be any rot on it. We've got Meridian audio here. Being the top spec portfolio, we've got reverse sensors, should be reverse camera as well, and a pan roof. Look at this angle though, that's probably my favourite angle of the whole car. It's very elegant. Panel gaps are all good. It's quite straight down the body as well, I can't see any filler. It's got a nice shine to it. Indicator in the door mirror is fine, it's not cracked. No corrosion at all. Nothing to report really. This is all quite nice down this side. On the front, oh yeah, those brake discs look rotten. Have a look at those. See how rusty they all look. And yeah, there's a bit of a lip on those as well. So I definitely need to replace those front brake discs. We definitely need to refurbish the wheels as well because they're just curved all the way around. And it really lets down the car, I think. I really want this car, once it's advertised, to just pop. And right now it's not doing. We've got a matching Marshall tyre on about 4mm, 5mm. Tiny little scuff there which we can touch in. This is pretty decent, isn't it? How is this a £5 car? Yeah, like I say, we'll change the reg plates, put some high peak autos plates on it. Headlamps don't need buffing, we're all good. Panel gaps on the bonnet are nice. All straight, all good. No chips in the windscreen from what I can see. no cracks or chips, that's all good. Down this side, this wheel's probably the worst. Look at the state of that, all the way around the outside. This is another Marshall on about 4mm. That's fine then. Get over to Prestige Wheels and get those wheels powder coated. And they should look then as good as new. This one again is a matching Marshall. So we've got a full set of matching tyres, which is always nice to see. Again, down this side, panel gaps are good. No filler. It's all very nice. It's got privacy glass on it. The tail lights aren't cracked. We've got matching plates, so it's obviously never been in a bump, otherwise it'd have odd plates. This is all pretty good then, isn't it? Very good. Does it have keyless then? There we go, it's got keyless as well. What about soft close? No. No soft close, but it does have keyless. We've got a Jaguar sill there and Jaguar mats. We've got the nice black leather interior with piped with like an ivory trim. That's nice. Power folding mirrors, Meridian audio, memory seats. Who's been sitting here? You wipe my knees on the dash then. The interior of these Jags are beautiful. Look at this beautiful wraparound dash. I love that. Got the little Jaguar badge there. Nice analog clock with the letters XJ there. I love these dials as well. Not dials, sorry, vents. So this is done 122,471. Let's fire up then, shall we? Wait for my glow plug light. There we go.
Greens.
Whack this heated seat on, I think. These systems are a little bit laggy now. They're a bit old-fashioned, but it still works. We've got heated and ventilated seats. And I think, actually, do we have heated seats in the back as well? Oh, no, we don't. You can just do the base or the upright part. That's good then. What about reverse camera? Yep, reverse camera. Well, the engine sounds quite sweet after its £5 rebuild. We've got a nice Alcantara headliner. Panoramic roof there. Needs a very good clean actually, but it'll clean up nice. Obviously get it to Tameside detailing for a full valet. Get this heater on I think because it's a bit chilly. Well, this is a nice old car this. Oh, we've got the Roman's key tag on it as well. Have a look at, see if all my windows work, shall we? All four. That's good. What else have we? Oh, we've got heated steering wheel, look at that. Bang that on. I love this era of Jag. I particularly like this new style logo. We've got a power tailgate as well. It's a proper car, this, isn't it, for 5k? Well, nothing to show you really. It's just in need of a good digging out, a good clean. In the back we have got, what can I show you? Oh, got heated seats. I think, have we? Yeah, heated seats in the back. And more climate back here. What a car. Now this is the standard wheelbase. They did do a long wheelbase version of this as well. But I always prefer the standard wheelbase in all of these kinds of cars. I always think the long wheelbase looks a bit awkward and ungainly. This is very nice. Be a little bit too small to be chauffeured around in there really. I think you'd need the long wheelbase if you were going to chauffeur somebody in it. Leather feels nice as well. We've got matching mats everywhere. This will clean up well. So we're into front brake disc and pads, wheel refurbs, a good valet, and a fresh service and MOT. Then we've got a good retail car, and I think this should retail for £7, £8 maybe. Steering wheel's getting nice and warm. Right then, I think we better get this on the road, see how it drives. See how bad those front brake discs are. Right then, let's get this XJ on the road. Well, my seat's getting nice and warm. My steering wheel's nice and toasty. Electric seats work. Feels solid over the bumps. Steering feels good. Engine feels nice. Sounds good. It's not smoking. Typical diesel engine really. Once it warms up, it does get nice and smooth. Wipers are good, they don't need to be replaced. I've got no warning lights on. Feels very nice, this. Is anybody going to let me go? Next time I try and buy one of these cars, I should try and buy the big petrol. The R version, the 5 litre supercharged. I've never had one of those. This feels good. It feels powerful. So I think this is the one with 270 horsepower. I think they did two. They did the smaller brake horsepower version with 245, and the slightly more powerful version of the same 3 litre with 269 or 275, and I think that's this one. But yeah, those brakes are bad. So when you brake, you get loads of vibration through the pedal, and it sort of pulls all over the place. That's not good at all. That is a symptom of lipped or worn brake discs on the front. Well, that's all right, at least we know about it. That's a nice easy fix. This is very nice. I think what we'll do as well while it's at my mechanics is grease the sunroof. The tracks can rust. I've had this before. They can corrode and the whole thing just jams. So if we lubricate it, it'll also act as a bit of a rust protector as well. This feels nice. Everything works. I don't want to jinx this because it is a British made product. But so far, so good. Wonder why it needed an engine rebuild though at 98,000 miles. Saying that, I know these 3 litre diesels are prone to snapping the cranks, so it could have been that, couldn't it? It's not usually an issue though in the Jags, it's usually more of an issue in the Discoveries and the Range Rover Sports and stuff. Yeah, those brake discs aren't good at all. Don't like driving that actually. I think we need to get this down to my mechanics. We'll get a service done, clean MOT, replace the brake discs, and what else? I think that's it. There's a weird feeling with this. I don't know if it's just the front brake discs or not, but it's what feels a bit loose on the front end. I wonder what that could be. Could it be tyres maybe? I mean, they looked all right, but I think we need to get it in the air because this doesn't feel right on the front end at all. Doesn't feel like I've got any control over it. I wonder what that could be. It could be a bit of a flat spot or a bit of an egg on one of the tyres maybe. No, this doesn't drive right at all. Just feels a bit. It's like I've got no control over it on the front. I think this is tyres. I think it's going to need 2 front tyres because we've got a problem here. That combined with the dodgy front brakes doesn't give a nice driving experience at all. It's a nice car though, apart from that. Oh yeah, this is very wayward. Right, I'm not going any further in this, especially not in this weather. I'm going to head straight to my mechanics and get them to sort it. And I'll report back to you very soon. I suspect that's what it is. I suspect it's tyres. If it was a damaged rim or something, then it wouldn't keep, or I guess, if it was a damaged rim, I've had this before, it wouldn't keep air in the tyre because it wouldn't make a perfect seal. I don't think it's that. Just trying to figure out in my own head what that could be. I think it could be tyres. If it hasn't done many miles, it could have just picked up a flat spot or a bit of a carbuncle or something. Right, leave this with me then, guys. Let's talk about budget then quickly before we wrap this up. I paid £5,000 for it. I think it'll retail for between 7 and 8, so there's a between £2,000 and £3,000 gross profit margin. But I'm going to have to spend 300 odd on the wheels, brake discs and pads on the front, a couple £100, service MOT, another couple £100. We're going to spend £1,000, I suppose, on it, aren't we? Possibly 2 front tyres as well. Yeah, this isn't right at all. Let's give us a budget of, we'll give ourselves a budget of £1,000. So it'll owe me 6, and it should be worth 7 or 8. We'll do that. That makes sense. Right. I'll get back to you soon then with an update. Cheers, guys. And we're back, and my very cheap Jaguar XJ portfolio is all sorted and ready for sale. But it wasn't exactly plain sailing. Let me explain what happened. Oh, by the way, I should probably explain. I'm not, of course, in my Jaguar XJ at the moment. That's in England. I'm currently here in Australia. But the car's all fully sorted now, ready for sale. So I thought, well, might as well end this story, hadn't I? This is a car that really tested my patience and my overdraft. I did get this one slightly wrong. It's more evidence that I really should go and look at these cars myself and not buy them blind on eBay. I should probably know that already, shouldn't I? But yeah, I did get this one slightly wrong. Now, if you remember on the test drive, it just didn't drive right at all. It was very loose, to the point where it felt quite dangerous. It felt like I was driving it on ice. The front end just didn't feel right at all. So I took it to my mechanic for a service, MOT and a general check over, and I asked them to check it over for me. I thought, there's just something there not right. I've driven enough cars in my time to know a good one from a bad one, and that just wasn't right at all. I also asked them to check over the brakes because there was a lot of vibration there when you press the pedal, so I thought it's going to need new disc and pads, this. Sure enough, I was right. Anyway, the next day my mechanic called me to say, right, we've checked over this car, and that loose feeling on the front end is the suspension arms. They're completely shot, like completely. And she said she'd called Jaguar, and the new parts were very, very expensive. So it was at that exact point I knew my profit margin was gone, sadly. The car sadly sat outside my mechanics for a few weeks because I kept pushing it to the back of the queue. It was quite a labour-intensive job, and I always prioritise sold cars over, project cars like that. Everyone's flashing here. I assume there's a camera car soon to keep my wits about me. Anyway, when they finally got up on the ramp, they did a service for me, changed the oil and filter, and they replaced the suspension arms, and also, I think it was a lower arm or bottom arm or something, they did that as well. They also replaced the disc and pads for me, so that completely cured that. So I had it picked up from my mechanics with, albeit a very big bill, but it was, I'm told, a very well sorted Jaguar XJ. It now handles exactly as it should. Nice and sharp, nice and agile, none of that waywardness. So that's all good. It was money well spent. Obviously couldn't have sold it in that condition, so it's all sorted now. On to the next buyer to enjoy. The next job it needed really was to give it a good detailed valet. So of course, as I always do, I took it to Tameside Detailing for a full valet, and that was that. As you can see in these photos, it looks mint. And I love these Jags, I really do. I would definitely have one as my own car, especially a portfolio spec. It's the best spec, so you get, all the optional extras. It's just a really nice place to be. And I can't believe these cars are now so old because they still look really modern. If you drive this around the city at night, for example, it just looks brand new. So the car now is all fully sorted. I've got my bill sent through to me, so what I'm going to do next is park up somewhere scenic. I'll talk you through my costs and work out how much potential profit there is left. Now, I've got this advertised. I was doing the advert for it the other day. I've got it advertised for £8,995. Now, I paid £5,000 for it. Plus, I sent my dad and brother to go and collect it for me, so there's some fuel there to take into consideration and tolls and whatnot. But there should still be a decent profit margin. I expect I might have to reduce this. If it sticks, I might have to reduce it to 8495 or something, but we'll see. I'm hoping at the end of the day, when it finally sells, somebody's got a really decent Jag, and I'll have still made maybe £1,500, £2,000. That's what I'm hoping. We shall see. Right, I don't even know where I am at the moment. Let me park up somewhere nice and pleasant, and I'll get my calculator out. Right, this'll do. Under the shade of the tree. So, if you remember, I paid £5,000 for the car. I'll factor in maybe £150 for fuel, tolls, time. What else have we got? The bill for my mechanics then. You ready for this one? It's quite a whopper. We've got oil filter, oil, MOT, front brake discs, front brake pads, front suspension arms. They were £330 each. Offside rear suspension arm, that was £197.62. Labour, that takes my total to £1,471.81. 147181. There we go. Then we've got the cost of a valet at Tameside Detailing, that was £70. Is that it? I think that's it. So that very cheap Jaguar XJ for £5,000 currently owes me nearly £6,691.81. So if I can sell it for £8,995, I'll make a profit of £2,300. Okay. If I sold it for £8,495 then, I'd be making sort of £1,800. That's not bad business then really, is it? At the start of this video I was complaining, thinking I'd massively overspent, when in reality, alright, I've spent more than I wanted to, but there's still some profit there, isn't there? It's not too bad then really, is it? Right, anyway, I just thought I'd keep you up to speed with what's going on. I'm going back very soon, so normal videos will resume. But yeah, that's my Jaguar XJ. It's currently for sale. My colleague took photographs of it outside my gates at work. It's advertised and someone's getting a decent example there. 12 months MOT, fresh service, new suspension arms that are very expensive. And yeah, I think it had its cam belt done as well. That was done at about 100. So yeah, nothing really to spend on that car now for a good couple of years, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.